Oh yeah, I just willed the video to start with magic. I'm definitely a witch. Why did I not get my letter to Hogwarts yet? Hi guys. So this week's theme is favorite Harry Potter character, and I'm just gonna go ahead and make it a step further. Favorite Harry Potter character who isn't part of the Golden Trio. I'm just gonna do that because I could talk about the Golden Trio all I want because I love them. But the character I want to talk about is Mrs. Weasley. And I'm just gonna talk about Mr. and Mrs. Weasley, or the Weasley family in general, as like a unit. I love them because they are like this accepting, loving, caring family, and I just so much appreciation for them. First off, Mrs. Weasley, the Weasleys in general, are like a second family to Harry, because of course Harry never knew his parents. Like, that's just a shame too, because Lily and James would have been such great parents. I could tell, but Mrs. Weasley, Mr. and Mrs. Weasley, make such a great surrogate family for Harry, and Mrs. Weasley thinks of Harry as pretty much as like her son, and she would do anything for Harry because, like in fifth book, when she and Sirius are arguing, and she's just talking about wanting to protect Harry, and Sirius wants to do that as well, and just she gets so defensive for Harry because she watched this kid grow. She's known him since he was a little boy at King's Cross Station, not knowing how to get into the platform. She watched him grow up into this guy who has to face all these difficult things that nobody his age should have to face, ever. And she's always been there, no matter what. There's always been this message from Mrs. Weasley, like, Harry is always welcome at the Weasleys because he's like family. And I love that about the Weasleys, that they just want to scoop up everybody and love them forever and keep them all as like family, even though the Weasleys have a big enough family as it is. Two, I like the fact that the Weasleys will do anything for their own children. Mr. and Mrs. Weasley don't have a lot of money, and they don't have the biggest, grandest house, although the Burrow is like the coolest house ever. Like, seriously, who doesn't want to go inside the Burrow just once? Because it just looks, or like the way they portray it in the movie and the way I imagine it in the books are, first of all, very similar, and second of all, really, really cool. And I just want to see what living in the Burrow would be like. But Mr. and Mrs. Weasley don't have a lot, but what they do have, they do use to better their children and to provide for their family. Like, they have to buy secondhand robes, and they have to buy, like, secondhand books, but they do what they have to do, and they do it for their kids to get by. If they had been like a more selfish family, they could have easily spent the little money they had on like silly things, like, I don't know, I'm trying to think, Peruvian instant darkness powder. They could have, but they don't, because they care about their kids, and Mr. and Mrs. Weasley could easily spend all that money on themselves, but they don't. They do it for their kids, and that's so much love. So much love for the Weasleys. 3, if some of the villains in the story had a family like the Weasleys, there'd be no problems. Harry's parents wouldn't be dead. Everything would be better. Because if Voldemort had a family like the Weasleys, and they brought him up the way that the Weasleys brought up their kids, then Voldemort would have been some bitter asshole. He would have been nice, and he would have been caring, and he probably would have gotten a girlfriend, and then he probably wouldn't have lost his nose, and then Harry's parents wouldn't have died, and this entire thing would have been avoided. I mean, like, it would mean not having the series, but it would be like world peace for the wizarding world so much earlier than it actually happened in the series. And what else do I like? I like the fact, 4? Is it 4 now? That the Weasleys raise their children with the beliefs that Muggles and Muggleborns aren't scum on the bottom of your shoe. That Muggles and Muggleborns are people, just like witches and wizards are, and that they deserve to be treated with respect. People are always talking about how how Draco Malfoy is this asshole, and he is an asshole. But I think that had he been brought up differently, because Draco had been brought up to think that Muggles were scum and that he never learned different. If he had learned different, maybe he would have been less assholey. That's my view, at least. So I have a Weasley appreciation life forever. My blog of the week this week is, what's my blog of the week this week? Oh, right. The neon trees archive.tumblr.com, and I'll leave a link down below in the doobly-doo. It's a blog about the Neon Trees, obviously. I love Neon Trees. They're an amazing band. If you've never heard of them, you should go down there and see what they're about. If you have heard of them and you're not following this blog, why aren't you following this blog? Follow it and just love it forever. So I'll see you guys next week. Bye.